In this tutorial, you will learn how to import latitude and longitude data into Google Earth from a data table that looks like this. So to give you guys a quick overview of the type of data that we are talking about here, under the station name column, what you see is basically the names of different stations, for example station 1, station 2, station 3 and so on. And I think from the number itself, it's quite apparent to you guys that these longitude and latitude information are in decimal degrees. Alright, so the first thing that you would need to do is you need to save this data table as a comma separated file. So how do we do that? If you're using a software like Microsoft Excel, just like what I'm doing here, you can go to File and Save As. And from here you can select the comma separated file format CSV. And I'm going to name this as Station Data CSV. And save. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Google Earth Pro. So before we actually begin, I'm going to go to Tools and go to Options. And over here under Show Latitude and Longitude, I'm going to select decimal degrees because our dataset is actually in decimal degrees, so that in case if we need to refer back to our original table to check and to make sure whether the data got imported correctly or not, it's going to be easy this way. So I'm going to apply this and click OK. And I'm going to go to File, Import, and from here I'm going to make sure that I'm selecting Generate Text, and within brackets you can see the .csv file format here because we are going to import a .csv file. So after I select this, you'll be able to see the file that you created, and in this case you can see the file that I created, Station Data CSV. So I'm going to select this file and click Open, and over here we have to adjust a few settings. Under the field type, I'm going to go with delimited, and over here we are going to specify how exactly we have delimited our table. And in our case it's a CSV file, which is a comma separated file, and so when we select comma as the delimiter, you can see that the table gets recognized automatically and the separation of the columns actually happen exactly in the way that we expect it to be. Over here you can see that we have the three columns that we saw before: station name, longitude and latitude. And we do have a number of rows, but over here it's just a preview, so it won't be showing you all the rows that we would have in the actual file, but instead it's just giving you the first 10 rows because it's just a preview. Alright, so after you do that, next, here we have to specify the corresponding columns. So I'm going to map the latitude field to this latitude column and the longitude field to longitude column. And in your specific case, this might be different. It could either come as maybe XY instead of saying exactly longitude and latitude, so you have to map it correctly. So after you have done that, we can click Next, and over here we have to assign the exact data type. If you're not really familiar with what these different types mean, just keep in mind that if you're specifying a text, we go with this string data type. And if you're mentioning maybe a whole number, for example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 without any decimal points, we can go with this integer data type. But in this case, since we are going to specify latitude and longitude, which definitely need to carry its decimal points, otherwise it's not going to be accurate, we're going to go with this floating point. So by default, it's already being selected in the way that it should be. So I don't really have to make any changes, but just so you guys know, in case if the default setting happens to be different, you need to have your longitude and latitude information selected in this manner. And once you're done with that, you can go ahead and click Finish. And now it's asking us whether we want to apply a specific style for the points that we're actually importing. Now I'm doing this for the first time, so maybe I would like to create my own custom style in case if I were to import maybe points corresponding to a different data set. I won't have to actually manually specify a style. I could use this custom style that I'm going to create for that as well. So I'm going to select Yes, and over here it's asking us whether we would like to use an existing template or whether we would like to create a new template. So I'm going to actually create a new template just so that in case if we happen to import a dataset of a similar manner, we don't really have to go through this process of assigning maybe the type of the icon, the color of the icon, things like that. We can directly import this custom made template to suit the dataset that we might import in the future. So I'm going to create a new template, and over here we can see under this name tab we have to map the name field to the station name column just like this. And under color, we can actually either go with a single color or we can opt to use random colors. I'm going to go with a single color for this tutorial. Maybe let's go ahead with the color like pink. And the icon type, we can select that as well. So we have actually quite a lot to select from. You can see that we have this pin icon, or we have this balloon icon. Maybe I'm going to go with this balloon icon right over here. And under height, I don't really have any specifications to add in under height, so I'm just going to leave it as default. So that's basically going to be it when it comes to specifying the style template settings. After I click OK, it's prompting me to save this particular template. So I'm going to name this as maybe station data template, and the type is going to be .kst, so that, as I mentioned to you guys, next time if I want to use this template, I can directly import the styles from this .kst file. So we are going to go ahead and save this file. And now you can see that it's basically zooming me into the area that corresponds to the latitude and longitude information that you guys saw in the list. But we do not really see any points or anything like that because we haven't ticked this box yet. So I'm going to do that. And as soon as I do that, you can see that all the stations actually get placed over here accordingly. And the cool thing is that if you happen to go over here and click on one of these stations, you can see basically the information that you're seeing on the table displayed over here in sort of an interactive manner. It's nicely styled. The text of the column heading has been specified in bold font. And right in front of that, we have the corresponding station name, the longitude and the latitude information. And if you'd like to do a further change to the styling, you can always go over here and select this station data CSV, go to properties, go to style, and we can share the style among all of these different features. And for example, if you want to change maybe the icon, we can click over here. And let's say now I would like to change all of these into pins. You can see that it's getting applied immediately. Or I would like to use balloons, but maybe with a different character inside, something like this. And even you can change the settings which corresponds to the text that's appearing right over here. By default, it's appearing in white color, but if you would like to maybe change that to yellow color, you can see that now it's standing out just a bit as opposed to having it in completely white color. And of course you can change the font size. If you happen to think that having a larger font is sort of making the map a bit messy, you can definitely reduce the font size. You can do things like that. Also, if you would like to make maybe specific changes only to a selected number of points, you can always expand this. And you can go to that particular station. For example, let's say I would like to change station 7 just because it happens to carry some significance of some sort. We can select that, go to properties, and now what we're changing is basically its individual properties instead of changing everything all together. You can see that this box is blinking, which is indicating to me where station 7 is located at. And right from here, I can maybe increase the icon size just like this, and even I can add maybe a different font color. Let's go with blue. Yeah, I think blue is not really visible with respect to this background. I think light blue matches quite well. So that's how you make individual changes, and you can do that to any of these different points without any issue. If you didn't know how to import the lat long data from a CSV file into Google Earth, now I think you guys can do it quite comfortably. But in case if you do have any questions, don't forget to add a comment down below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And if you would like to see this kind of interesting GIS related tutorials on a weekly basis, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe as well, so that as soon as we publish a video, you guys will get notified. So thanks a lot for watching guys. I'll see you again with another tutorial very soon.